Hi students, welcome to online class. In this video we are going to discuss about chapter 11 functions. Now we are going to see about default arguments. In this video we are going to discuss about two concepts. One is called default argument and another concept is constant argument. So first of all we can discuss about default arguments. What is meant by default arguments? See, the arguments can be otherwise called as parameters. The parameters or arguments is given inside the function. Is given in the function, inside the function, or it is given in the function. We already studied in the previous videos. There are two parameters are there. One is called formal parameter and another one is called actual parameter. Whenever we call the function, we used to pass the actual parameter. Whenever we are calling the function, at that time we pass the values or variable. That is called actual. Whenever we are doing the process, whenever we are defining the function, at that time you can see the formal parameters. So now in C++, one can assign the default values to the formal parameters of a function prototype. What they are trying to say, in C++, one can assign. So we are going to assign the default value. So we are going to assign the values for the variables to the formal parameters. We are going to assign the values to the formal parameters of the function prototype. That means in the function definition, we are going to assign the value for the formal parameter. Can you understand, students? Again I repeat, what is mean by default argument means assigning the value to the variables. Assigning the values to the variables. Those variables are called formal parameters. Which is in the function definition. Those formal parameters are available in the function definition. So we are going to assign the values for the formal parameters in the function definition. So that is what they are saying, function prototype. Function prototype means function definition or function declaration, we can say like that. Can you understand, students? So default values are going to be given to the formal parameters in the function definition. The default arguments allows to omit some arguments when calling the function. So what is the purpose we are giving the default argument? Whenever we give the default argument, so we no need to pass the value. To the function whenever we are calling that function. See how the function is invoked. Whenever we call the function is invoked. Can you understand, students? When the function is invoked, students, whenever we call the function, see whenever somebody is calling your name, then only you will turn back and then you will ask why you called me. Is it right or not? Whenever anybody is calling you with your name, then only you will turn back and then you will give the response, why for you called me, like that. So like that, whenever we call the name of the function, then only the function is invoked. Function is called. Invoked means call. So then only the function is invoked. Whenever we call the function, we used to pass the values for the formal parameter. So whenever we pass the values, that values can be omitted. Why? Because already the formal parameters are assigned the default arguments, default values. Can you understand, students? Whenever we are calling the function, we want to pass the value to the formal parameter. Then only the function will be invoked, then the values will be assigned. Instead of that, you no need to pass the value. The values can be omitted because the function already contains the values for the formal parameters. That values are called default arguments. Can you understand, students? Right. Now you see, whenever we are calling the function, for any missing arguments, compiler uses the values in default arguments for the called function. So whenever we are not giving the value, whenever we are not passing the value, at that time the compiler takes the default value. Can you understand, students? Whenever the function is called, you are not passing any value. Whenever the function is called, you are not passing any value. That any value is called actual parameter. We are not passing any actual parameter. So what will happen? At that time, the called function means the function definition. The called function will takes the default value. It takes the default arguments. Can you understand, students? Right. Now, how the default values are given? How it will be? There will be a question mark. How the default values are given? Is there any other special syntax is there? No, it is very simple. The default value is given in the form of variable initialization. The default values are given in the form of variable initialization. So how the variable initialization will be? We know that declaration and assignment are combined together, then it is called initialization. Whenever the declaration and assignment are combined together, then it forms the initialization. So now you see here in this example, void is the data type. Void is the function's data type. We can call it as return type also. Function's data type or return type. Now what is the name of the function? The name of the function is default value. The name of the function is default value. And then you can see here int n1 equal to 10. Then int n2 equal to 100. Int n1 equal to 10, comma int n2 equal to 100. Now in this you can understand that this is n1 is an argument and n2 is an argument. Now the n1 argument is assigned as 10 and then n2 argument is assigned as 100. Can you understand, students? So this is what we called it as giving the default value for the arguments. Assigning the default value for the arguments. Can you understand, students? You just to see this line int n1 equal to 10. So this is called initialization. Variable is declared and variable is assigned some value. So like that int n2 equal to 100. So declaration come assignment. Both of them are given together, then it forms variable initialization. So this is how we want to give the default value for the arguments. That is for the formal parameter. We can give the default value for the formal parameter. Can you understand, students? So again I just go through with the default argument. What is mean by default argument? Default argument means we are going to give the value for the formal parameter. We are going to give the value for the formal parameters. Then why for we are giving the default arguments? Whenever we give the default arguments, whenever we are calling the function, we no need to pass the value. Whenever we are calling the function, we no need to pass the value. When we are not passing the value, then what will happen? Whenever we are not passing the value, the compiler takes the value as the default value. The compiler takes the default values which is given inside the function. Whenever the values are not given, whenever we call the function, we are not passing value. So when we are not passing the value, it takes the default value. How the default values will be? The default values will be in the form of variable initialization. How the variable initialization is? Declaration and assignment are combined together, then that is called initialization. Can you understand, students? Right. Now you can see the another point. The default argument facilitate the function call with the partial or no arguments. So already I told you, whenever the default arguments are there, we no need to pass any value. We no need to pass any argument to the formal parameter. We no need to pass the value to the formal parameter or formal argument because it takes the default value. So that is what here they are given. So just we are calling the function name alone, default value. We are calling the function name alone. We are not passing any value. See here, default value, just name alone is called. The function name is called. The function name is given, students. So we are calling the function. We are not passing any value. See here inside the parenthesis, everything is given. Just it is empty. Inside the parenthesis, it is empty. But see the next line, they have given two values. Now what will happen? Default value 200, 150. Then you might ask another question. Sir, already we assigned n1 equal to 10, n2 is equal to 100. We already assigned. But you are giving 200, 150. Now what will happen? 200, 150 will be assigned to n1, n2. You simply think that you are going for a tour with your friends. You are going for a tour with your friends. Your mother is giving some money for the tour. Your mother is giving some money for the tour. After that, when you are coming out of the home, at that time, your father is seeing you. He is asking where you are going. You are saying that I am going for the tour with my friends. Then what will happen? Your father might give some money. At that time, what you will say? No, father. I already got the money from my mother. I already got the money from mother. I don't want. Whether you will say like that? No. Already you got some money for the tour from your mother. Whenever you are coming out of your home, your father is also giving the money. We won't say that I already got the money, so you keep it with yourself. You will not say that. So everybody will get the money from your father also. So like that, whenever we are assigning the value, whenever we are giving the default value, n1 equal to 10, n2 equal to 100, the default value is already here. But whenever we are passing the value 200, 150, 200 is assigned to n1. 200 is assigned to n1. 150 is assigned to n2. Then what about the default value? Default value will be set aside. Default value will be set aside. 200 will be assigned to n1. 150 will be assigned to n2. Can you understand, students? So whenever we give default value, the default value will be taken by the formal parameter. But whenever we are passing the value, the default value will be kept aside, and then whatever the value we are passing, that value will be assigned. Can you understand, students? Right. Now here they are passing 150 alone. Now what will happen? 150 will be taken by n1 variable. 150 will be taken by n1 variable, whereas n2 takes the default value 100. So here we are passing only one value. But how many values required? Two values are required. But we are passing only one value. 150 alone we are passing. So 150 will be assigned for the variable n1, and then n2 takes the default value 100. n2 takes the default value 100. Can you understand, students? So that is what here they are saying. The default arguments facilitate the function call statement with partial or no arguments. With partial or no arguments. So now you see here, the default values can be included in the function prototype. The default values can be included in the function prototype from right to left. That is, we cannot have a default value for an argument in between the argument list. So we want to assign the default value from right side parameter to left side parameter. We want to give the default value from the right side to left side. That is, from the right hand side parameters to left hand side parameter. You should not give the default value in between. So first of all, we want to fill from right hand side. So first of all, we want to give for n2 variable, then only we should give for n1 variable. But if we are giving straight away to n1, then that is invalid. Can you understand, students? The default value should be given from right hand side parameters to left hand side parameter. We should not give in between the arguments. You can see the examples why this is invalid. First of all, n2 should be given default value, then only we want to give for n1. But see the second example, second one is valid. Why? Because n2 is assigned first, then only we are going for n1. Can you understand, students? So this is about default arguments. Now we are going to see the next topic, constant arguments. So we already know about the meaning of the word constant. What is mean by constant? Constant means it does not change. It remains stable. Constant means that does not change, it remains stable. So now you see here, the constant variable can be declared using the keyword constant. That is const. The constant variable should be declared can be declared by using the keyword const keyword. So whenever we declare a variable as constant, then we want to use the keyword const. Whenever I declare a variable int a, if I want to declare a as a constant variable, just I want to prefix the keyword const. So const int a. Can you understand, students? Instead of declaring int a, I want to declare const int a so that the variable a becomes the constant variable. The variable a becomes the constant variable. So now you see here, the const keyword makes the variable value stable. The const keyword makes the variable's value as a stable one. So it does not allow us to change the value. Can you understand, students? Constant variable means we want to use the const keyword. We want to prefix the keyword const. So whenever we are declaring the variable with the keyword const, that variable's value remains constant. It does not allow to change the value. See, if I declare int a equal to 4, it is an ordinary variable. If I declare int a is equal to 4, it is an ordinary variable. Whenever I want, I can change. Again, after few lines, I can give a equal to 6, a equal to 10. I can give like that. But whenever I declare const int a, if a is assigned as 4, then it does not allow to change the value. Then it does not allow us to change the value, because the usage of const keyword is it makes the variable value as stable one. It makes the variable's value as stable one. The constant variable should be initialized while declaring. So whenever we are declaring, we should give the value for that variable. Whenever we are declaring, we should give the value for the variable. So now you see here, the const modifier enables to assign an initial value to a variable that cannot be changed later. So whenever we are giving the value, that value is unable to change. We cannot change the value because we are using the modifier called constant. We used to call it as const modifier. We can call it as const keyword or const modifier. So you are not allowed to change the value because that is a constant one. I think everybody know in mathematics, you have studied what is the value of pi. The value of pi is 3.1415, like that it goes on. 3.14, simply we used to stop up to 3.14. Whether the value of pi is a constant one or it is changing, it does not change. The value of pi remains constant. The value of pi is always 3.14. So like that, a value cannot be changed. You are not allowed to change the value of the variable. Then we want to use the const modifier. See the example. So int minimum is the function name. Then see here const int a equal to 10. Const int a equal to 10. That means the variable a is assigned as 10. You are not allowed to change the value. So like that, see the next example, float area. Const float pi is equal to 3.14. So the value of pi does not change. It remains as a constant one because we have prefixed with the keyword const. Can you understand, students? Now let us see the program. So when you see this program, then you can understand here. So double area. So we are going to find out the area of circle. So area of circle, you know the formula pi r square. Is it right or not? The area of circle is pi r square. So we are creating the function. Area. In this area function, we have given two parameters. The two parameters are constant. The const double r. The next parameter is const double pi is equal to 3.14. So here we have assigned as 3.14. The value of pi is 3.14. And then we are going to multiply pi into r into r. Pi into r means pi r square. So radius is multiplied 2 times. Then come to the main function. We want to get the radius from the user. So pi r square means without radius we cannot find out the area of circle. The value of pi is a constant one. So there is no change at all. We need only the radius. So when we get the radius, we can find out the area of circle in an easy manner. Then now you see double radius. So it is declared as double RAD. And then we are going to declare another variable result. Why? Whenever I find the area of circle, then I want to store the resultant value. So they declared RES. RES stands for result. Now we are getting the input from the user. C out, enter the radius. C in radius. It is given as RAD. Then we are calling the function area. How to call the function? We want to call the function using its name. So area, inside the parenthesis, we are passing the radius. We are calling the function area and then we are passing the radius. So automatically the radius will be passed to the variable, that is to the formal parameter r. The radius is passed to the formal parameter const double r. The radius is passed to the variable, that is formal parameter const double r. Then automatically it takes the pi value as 3.14. And then using the return statement, Using the return statement, whatever the radius we are giving, that radius is multiplied with the value of pi. Then the value is returned to this place where the function is called. To this place the value is returned, and then it is stored in res. Then we are printing the result. See, now we are going to see the program in a practical manner. So let us see this practical manner. Before seeing the output, we can see it in a practical manner. So control plus N, then control plus V. So I have pasted the program. So now I am going to save the program. So save it as a constant arguments. Now I want to enter the radius, then I can find out the area of circle. So when I press F11, so it compiles the program. So there is a space is a mistake. Const space double R. So space is not left out. So that's why error. So now I want to enter the radius. If I enter the radius as 5. So 5 into 5 you know very well 25. So 25 into 3.14. 5 into 5 R square means 5 into 5 25. 25 into 3.14. Then what will happen? It becomes 78.5. Yes. Is it correct, students? Yes, it is correct. So like that you can give any other value. If I give the radius as 3, again I am running the program. If I give the radius as 3, 28.26. So 3 into 3, 9. So 9 into 3. 9 into 3 means 27. So again 9 into 0.14. So automatically it shows 1.26. So 28.26. Is it correct, students? Yes. Can you understand how to use the const keyword? Yes. So now you can see the output. Enter radius 5. The area of circle is 78.5. And then in this, see here, double area const double R const double pi is equal to 3.14. In this function definition, we are trying to change the value. In this function definition, we are trying to change the value. If the variable R is changed as 25 inside the body of the function, if the variable R is changed as R equal to 25, that is inside the function, inside the body of the function, if you are trying to change, then what will happen? Compiler will throw an error message. Compiler will throw an error message as assignment of read-only parameter. Compiler will throw an error message. What is the error message? Assignment of read-only parameter. Now let us see here. See, we want to get the radius from the user. Is it right or not? We want to get the radius from the user. After getting the radius, if I am changing the value, for example, R equal to 25, if I am giving like this, when I press F11, now it shows the error. Is it right or not? You can see where it is pointing. It is pointing in this place, R equal to 25. Now here you can see assignment of read-only parameter. So this parameter is allowed to get the value from the user. You want to get the value from the user, you are not allowed to change. You are not allowed to change because we have used the const keyword. But if I delete the const keyword, then it does not shows any error. Then it does not shows any error because that is not a constant one. If I give 3, it does not take 3. It takes 25. See here, first it takes 3. But after that it is changed as 25. So 1962.5. The result is displayed as 1962.5. But whenever I declare the variable as const variable, you are not allowed to change the value. You are not allowed to change the value of the variable. That is, you are not allowed to change the value of the formal parameter. Can you understand, students? As this parameter is given as constant argument, you are not allowed to change the value of r. The value of r cannot be changed because it is declared as const modifier. That is constant variable. Can you understand, students? So I think you might have understood this video. We have discussed about the default arguments and constant arguments. So let's end the class. So thank you, students.